So at JBEI, we're actually developing a lot of different types of software tools. So we might have needs to actually record where we're storing all of our DNA or our plasmids, keeping track of all of our experiment data, maybe even some computer-aided design tools for designing our biological systems. So over the last 7, 8 years or so, we've been developing all kinds of tools. And what we've been doing each week is actually having a rotating software tutorial. So on Monday afternoons for about an hour, somebody will basically be presenting one of the tools that we've been developing, and that way new people that come into JBEI, they can basically have never seen any of the tools, and then over the course of a couple of months, they see all of these different tools they could possibly use. And these tutorials are really useful also for the people developing the software because they can get feedback from the users, the researchers, as to are there bugs in the software, are there new feature requests, things like that. So it's also really great for the software developers. So one of the realizations that we've had over the last couple of years is that the best ideas for new software tools might not actually come from the software developers themselves, but they might actually come from the graduate students or postdocs or other researchers at JBEI. So one of the things we've been doing recently is we're having this competition once a year, calling it the Grassroots Tool Competition. So basically a postdoc or a grad student researcher will come in and give like a 5-minute pitch on the software they've been working on, but right now no one else other than them can actually use a software tool. Maybe it's a command line tool, or maybe it's really hard to install on someone else's computer. So the idea is once a year we'll award one of these tools, and basically the reward of the competition is that you'll get one of the software developers to make a production grade web application so that other people can actually benefit from the tool that you've been working on. So this year we've selected a particular tool that's used for modifying genomes. So it's called Toaster. So that's pretty much the competition winner for this year. So one of the things we've been trying to do over the last year or so is to actually try to improve our software developer community. And one of the things we've been trying to do is actually something that you find very common in software companies. And that's essentially weekly code reviews or code presentations. So kind of like in a regular science meeting, you'd have a postdoc or a grad student give up with a weekly seminar and present the work they've been doing in the lab. It's very similar for software developers. So they would basically get up and present their software code to the other developers so they can actually get some feedback on maybe some technical improvements that they can make, or maybe they have some challenges they're trying to figure out. And it's really great because now it's not just one person that understands a particular piece of software, their friends and colleagues do as well. So if they need some extra help finishing by a milestone, or they just kind of need some feedback, they have kind of that support in the community. So now we've been doing that once a week for about a year, and it's actually going really well. So most of our software developers come into JBEI and they've never worked any place like this at all. So most of the time they've been working in Silicon Valley. Maybe they're used to only working with other software developers. So JBEI is a very different place. We actually have lots of people that actually work in the laboratory. So most of the time our software developers are working on tools to support the researchers in the lab, but the developers themselves have never had any experience with pipette men or never put on latex gloves, anything like that. So what we've actually been doing this very week, and we're actually halfway through it, is all of our developers, say 10 to 15 of them, have gone through all of their safety training, and now they're going into lab, and for a week they're basically doing an end-to-end molecular biology experiment. So they're actually getting hands-on experience, and now they actually have a visceral understanding of what it is that their software is trying to actually help and support and to automate. So they're doing things like mini preps or PCR, or doing transformations, cloning, all these types of things. And I think for them it's a lot of fun, but they're also starting to actually understand the real world environment in which their software is helping out.